it's Groovy Kurt, and I am back with another review. And this review is over the awesome Grace Design M101. And this is a microphone preamp. And I gotta tell you, for a trumpet player, don't need it. But if you're any other kind of musician, you may just want to go ahead and get this, because this really pulls out the sound. I found that, especially when trying other different microphones, like right now I am on the AKG C214 microphone. And when I use this microphone with this Grace Design M101, it was just too hot. Too hot and too wet for playing trumpet. I mean, I had to get 10 feet across the room. It just wasn't practical. It was distorting my sound so much that it wasn't worth it for me for a trumpet player. Now that said, maybe some whoop-de-doo audio engineer would be able to place me in the rooms in such a way that maybe it might this Grace Design M101 might help out. I think for other musicians like singers, people who do voiceovers, podcasts, and things like that, you might notice a big difference by using the Grace Design M101. For brass playing, and this is going to be a quick review. I'm not going to go into all the nuts and bolts of it. It does have some pretty cool features on it that I did mess around with. It has, first let me tell you how I did this. Now I'm holding the Grace M101 design here in the frame, but what I did, I'm also, right now I'm using, let's see, now right now I'm using the Focusrite 2i2 second generation audio interface. So I have the microphone plugged into the Focusrite, and the Focusrite is plugged in my computer. Now what I did with the Grace M101 design that seemed to work out okay, and I had a different cable. I'm not going to go, it's around here somewhere, but what I did, let me see if I can collect my thoughts as to what I did. I plugged, when I tested out the Grace Design M101, I plugged the microphone into the back of the Grace M101 design right here, and then I had another cable connected here. This is the balance out of the M101 design. Is that right? Yeah. This is the balanced out, so I plugged the cable from here. It looked like a regular mic cable. I guess I call it XLR. So it wasn't a 1/4 inch, it was this one here. I plugged the cable from that into the front of the Focusrite. So you can see where the cable is going into the front of the Focusrite. Now that wasn't happening when I used the Grace Design, because the microphone was then plugged into the Grace Design, and then the connection came out of the Grace Design and plugged right where you see it here, and that's how I was able to set up the mic preamp Grace Design M101 using the Focusrite, and it seemed to work out okay. I did have to turn everything off. I turned off the phantom on the Focusrite. I turned all the gain down, all the way down to 0, and it was still too hot. So I think for voice and vocal singers and maybe some other acoustical instruments, the Grace M101 design might be absolutely what you've been wanting. For loud, in-your-face brass players like myself, the gain just goes past red, if you can imagine that, into white hot coals, and you can't use it, just too much distortion. So anyway, that is my take, a professional brass playing musician, on whether or not you should spend the $800 and go get the Grace Design M101. Now, if someone sold me the Grace 101 design for $10 or $15 or $20, I might keep it around, because I could hook that up and use it for some of the voice stuff that I do for my videos. Like right now, I could be going through the Grace M101 design, and who knows, maybe my voice might come out a little bit richer, a little bit better. a little bit deeper. But for what I really want it for is to give a better, more authentic representation of this guy. And this guy was just too much, just overpowered the Grace design. So I'm going to put a link in the description where you can get the best price on the Grace DESIGN M101 mic preamp. It'll be right down there in the description. But I thought you would at least want to know my take on it. This isn't a full-blown half-an-hour video review of the Grace M101 design. Going through every little feature and every little measurement. It's not that. It's just one person's opinion and take in the moment, and I'll be sending the Grace design back. It's $800, so you know that's a lot of money. So to spend $800, it better be something I'm going to use. It better be worth it. And for me as a brass player, it is not. I hope you enjoyed this review of the Grace DESIGN M101 mic preamp. This is Groovy Kurt, and I'll catch you in the next video, baby.